The Live from the District podcast is for informational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are not those of the host or the management or of Live from the District.
Live from the District. Live from the District. Live from the District. Live from the District. Live from the District. Live from the District.
According to BradyUnited.org, across all ages from 2017 to 2021, the largest increase in firearm homicide rates were among African American females. In 2021, it was reported that the number of black women purchasing firearms increased by 87%, making the black woman the fastest growing population of gun owners. Long story short, sisters are packing these days. Make sure you like and subscribe Live from the District. We recently caught up with the sister who's currently on the front line, educating African Americans and especially African American women about gun ownership. Now, before you sign up to get your HQL or your carry, you might want to watch this episode and share with your friends so you can know the differences of what's going on in the laws in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, or other states. And here to break it on down is firearms instructor, Red Cross instructor, RAD instructor, and safety coach Taniece Reed from Pretty Shooters Firearms.
Hey.
How you doing, Taniece?
I'm happy to be here.
All
How
right.
are you?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to have you on the show. Do you know why?
I'm scared to ask, but yeah, why?
Okay. I called you because I need to go to your class.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to be entering your class very soon. Just for the record, I'm an expert Marine Corps sharpshooter.
Okay.
So, you know, M16, 45, all that. I'm bang, 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 bang.
You with it.
It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. However, there are certain rules and certain laws in different states. We live in a DMV, which is very tight. So you in DC with this, it's a different rule. It's a different law. You're in Maryland, you can't do that in Maryland. You go across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge in Virginia, you can't do that because there's different rules in different places. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Okay, we're going to get to that. So now, how did you become a gun lover? I'm assuming you love guns.
More than love. I shot my first gun at 10. I've been shooting fluently since 16. My dad, my uncles always spoke to us about doing the right things. They were for personal self-protection, and they let us know that they were against political violence. They ain't do all that neighborhood beef, and if you're going to do it the right way, protect yourself, and really be smart about it. So as I got older, I noticed a lot of African Americans especially were getting charges because they didn't know the right things to do. They didn't have the right licenses, and it didn't make any sense that we couldn't get what we needed, same as anybody else or any other ethnic group. So I said, you know what, let me get into this. And lo and behold, a lot of women, a lot of families needed me. So here I am.
Right, because DJ Gemini took your class as well.
And his wife, yep, and they enjoyed. Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Gemini, the homie. And they told me when they went to the class, it was nothing but African-American women.
Yeah.
Is that the way that it's going down? Or, I mean, so many sisters feel like they want to get guns. And for the right reasons, because protection is important.
Yeah. I think the other thing, too, is women are starting to realize they want a place in the safety plan, right? Back in the day, it used to be as long as I have a man or a dad or a cousin, they can protect me. But we're starting to feel like we can't help you if you're helping us. And if something goes wrong with you, how can we be an asset? So women are stepping up in mass numbers, especially since COVID, to be an asset in the household and safety plan. And they tired of playing victim. So we getting prepared.
Right. So if it goes down, it can go down.
It's going to go down.
Wow. Okay, so you said you were very young. What was the first gun you fired? I'm just curious.
Ooh, 45 Ruger.
Okay.
45 Ruger. So that, and then I think it was a follow-up, a Glock. Glock is like the Toyota firearm, so that was like my first gun. But the first one I loved was the Glock.
She said the Toyota firearm.
If you keep it clean, change that oil, what a Toyota do? Run you about 400,000. That's a Glock.
So now, if you don't mind me asking, how many guns do you have?
Oh, God. I always tell people, I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I'm 35 and I got more guns than my age.
Wow.
But that's rifle, shotgun, pistol. It's a little bit of everything.
Really?
A little bit of everything.
Do you have guns in every room of the house?
Surprisingly, because I have kids, I have it sanctioned so that way majority of where I spend my time at, that's where you'll find something. But I'm not the type to just leave stuff around.
Right.
So I have safes in a lot of places where I am. You know, one's loaded close by, but then I also make sure that I have other things applicable. I never want anybody to break in my house and have access to it. So you got to think about that too. So I have it staged to where it's safe away from the kids. I can get to it. The adults in the house can get to the things they need to. But yeah, just you come in my house, you better be invited.
Right. She said that with a smile,
Yeah.
bruh. You better be invited.
Be invited.
You come to my house, you better be invited, or else.
Yeah.
So, Taniece, let me ask you this. So you talked about having the kids. What would you recommend for people that want to become gun owners and they have children at the same time? How do you keep the kids safe?
Oh, wow. Conversation. I think a lot of times some parents are on the fence about talking to their kids because they don't want to open up Pandora's box. But the reality of it is the internet, social media is doing that anyway. You have to get to them and feed them the correct information and really instill in them how important it is to be safe. I think we do good in some areas, but then it's always an area where we fall short. So if you do good at talking about home safety, a lot of us aren't doing good about talking about what to do if something happens at school and the parents aren't there. So I always stress to parents, you have to create a plan, what's important to you, stuff you see on the news, and kind of incorporate all of that in consistently. Don't just tell your kid and your kid goes, I get it, consistently talk to them.
Okay, when you were just talking, in my mind, I saw this photo of it was some congressman. I can't remember. I don't know. It was a white guy and his wife, and he had the kids, and they had the Christmas tree and the guns.
I remember that.
With the gun photo, with the whole family had guns, and it was just like,
and it was acceptable, right? You remember that?
Yeah. They was with. Are you okay? I mean, how do you feel when you see these kind of photos like that? Because then immediately some people gonna be in their feelings saying, wait a minute. Why do they got a Christmas picture when everybody got guns and it's people getting shot every day and people getting shot at the schools and all of this?
It's like some stuff don't apply to them, right? They were just having fun.
Exactly. So your thoughts on that?
Honestly, and I say this with all respect, gun laws are like bleach, good for the white to bad for the colored. So I always tell people, you know, we grew up.
Wait, hold on, bro. Slow down, champ. Give me that bar again. MC Taniece.
Gun laws are like bleach, good for the Caucasians or other ethnic groups and bad for the coloreds. And that's something that was instilled in us way before. So it's always been looked at in their likeness that, you know, oh, it's no harm, you're training your kids, way to go. But we always are looked at as we're doing something wrong, and that's the problem. So coming out in mass numbers and really just not backing down and having a standpoint is part of it. The other part of it is if we're going to do this, we got to do it with the proper vernacular. You know, we can't keep saying clip this and clip that. Give them the proper name so they'll respect you as you're respecting your firearm and respecting the law, so you can feel just as good as they do. But I didn't think anything was wrong with the picture. But again, hopefully they're training their kids and it wasn't just a photo op. So.
Are you trying to say there's racial implications about African Americans owning guns? Is that what you're trying to imply during this interview, that some people feel like that black people should not have weapons?
Well, not just black people. I think anybody with a little color, you know, you see what's going on now with the wars and stuff. If you looked at with any little bit of tint, you may got something brewing up your sleeve, and they always look with that side eye. So I do say it's a stigma, but then people have to remember the stigma is always going to go by where you live at. If you live in a predominantly black area, you're going to hear about things happening more so with the black community.
Right.
And then a lot of times the stuff the news is giving you as an anomaly. So yeah, it's happening a lot in DC right now. DC is under a lot of just discrepancies with all of the violence. But then if you go other places, it's just as much. And we don't hear about it because we get our daily news. So it is some stigma, but we're breaking it. One person getting registered at a time, one safe gun owner at a time. And women are coming out and being very meticulous with jumping in on that plan and assisting and helping and training. So thankful for that.
Okay, so Taniece, I want to ask you this question. And I alluded to this early in my lead in. Like, let's talk about these laws. Like, what is it that you can do in D.C. or Maryland with your gun that you can't do in another state? And how do we kind of be a gun owner for people that's watching this and making sure that we properly following the rules that we live in the domain that we live in?
Well, we do live in that weird trifecta where Maryland, D.C., and Virginia all have different set of laws, different set of training. When it comes to D.C. and Maryland, if you do not have those licenses outright, you do not have jurisdiction in one over the other. As opposed to Virginia, you get what's called reciprocity. So the laws they do differ in most cases. For instance, Maryland just adapted some of DC's laws. If you have a registered gun and it's loaded, you cannot carry anywhere where alcohol is sold or consumed, even if you're not drinking. And that didn't used to be the case in Maryland.
Okay, so you can't have a gun in the liquor store or at the club.
Nope. Or even in a Fridays, because they serve alcohol, even if you're not drinking it. Yeah, so DC has had that law for quite some time, and Maryland recently, as of 10/1, just adopted that. So they try to mirror each other, but they know it's different. You got Virginia, Commonwealth, they got the money out there. So, there you go, But then you got to remember DC is very small compared to Maryland. You can drive for hours and not even scratch the surface of, still riding through Maryland. So laws are very different. DC is the most restrictive out of all three, because DC has the most government buildings, government land, things like that. So they do not play with you carrying nowhere on government property, near government officials, those type of things, as opposed to Maryland. You got a little bit more space to play with. So,
So now that you ran that down, and I appreciate that, I want to ask you about, I think it's the Second Amendment, right? That's the right to bear arms. That is, listen, y'all, I didn't do good in civics. Okay, Second Amendment is the one, the right to bear arms. We currently have, and I could be wrong about this, but do we have more guns than we have people in this country right now?
We do.
We do.
We have way more guns than we have people, because you got to understand, people can make guns, ghost guns, people can build guns. I like building. We do have more guns. Even if you're talking about military, just strictly them, we do have more guns than people. Now, we don't have as many people that know how to use them, but that's another story. Right.
So does that bother you at all because there are some people that say, some of the reasons why that these young people is out here getting buck wild because it's the availability of guns, and not just the guns, but there's other issues in play.
Yeah.
Drugs, alcohol, mental health issues, poverty as well contribute to the violence, and a whole bunch of other things. But some people also blame the guns too. Your thoughts on that?
I can't even say I blame the guns. It's the same thing when you go back to the war on drugs. How did they get here in the first place? So we have to hold everybody accountable. And I think that the larger conversation is, there have been areas where, mysterious bags of guns over the years that I've read have just popped up. And it's like, how did that get here?
Oh,
so I feel like it's population control.
I watch the Sons of Anarchy.
Look, see, there you go. But it's real though. And the sooner we understand that, and the sooner we know where to place ourselves around, we know that it's being given to us, and then we're just falling victim to it in a certain manner, then we know how to play it. But again, you can't stop what's going on around you. My grandma used to say, if you can't beat them, join them. I personally, again, I don't think it's anything wrong with personally protecting yourself, but it's a way to do it, and it's things you should know. So I don't think we put all the guns here and made all the guns, and the companies only put out what they're allowed to put out. So then you have to ask yourself too, why are the companies getting this big? Why are they being endorsed by so many people? And be surprised when you start looking on TV at who some of these CEOs are when they're at these meetings for the Republicans and Democrats. You got to kind of read the room. So I would say that we're just trying to make a light out of a bad situation that we were given.
Okay, so before we wrap up, since I'll be taking your course very shortly, yes. I'm looking forward to it so I can get out there and be doing
He gonna cut up. I'm gonna come back and get y'all the real tea.
I'm gonna be doing the right thing. So now, how long is the course? So I'm gonna be taking the course. How long is it gonna take me to be able to give me a quick rundown on what we're gonna learn?
A basic pistol course or a Maryland HQL course is 4 hours. If you're doing a DC concealed or a Maryland wear and carry course, that's 16 hours plus range time. If you're doing a VA course or things like Utah, PA, New Jersey, those are about 4-hour courses. So just depends on what you're looking for. We do tailor fit courses. If you're doing situational awareness, mass shooter training, safety training, we do CPR, stop the bleed. Those courses can range anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. So it just depends on what you want. I can have you for a little bit of the day or 2 days, and I can stretch it.
Okay. All right. Keep doing what you're doing, and congratulations on the success.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, folks. That's Taniece right there. Her information is on the screen. Now, listen, before we end this show, I just want to let it be known, because the reality of it is, folks, we have to protect ourselves.
Yep.
I'm going to leave it at that. I don't have to tell you why. All you got to do is just turn on the news. We have to protect ourselves. I mean, we don't want to hurt nobody, you know, but we have to defend ourselves and make sure. It's kind of like that whole boxing thing, right?
Yeah.
What they say in the boxing ring. Wes, what they say when you step in to protect yourself at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing.
If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Live from the district. We'll catch you next time, all right? Interesting stories from interesting people. Peace.
Live from the district. Live from the district. Live from the district.